All right, what's up, everybody? Spicy J here.
Spicy Jacks.
We're here for the inaugural show of Toronto Heat, where we're going to sample Ontario-made small batch hot sauces with some legends of Toronto. We're here today with the international Toronto SOCA ambassador, who's been spinning big tunes for 30 years, providing SOCA therapy throughout the world, the one and only Dr. J.
Thank you for having me here.
Hey, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it.
I'm excited.
Absolutely. We're going to try out some sauces, man. So these are sauces made by Tijuana Tom, which is out of Hamilton. It's a small batch producer who sells at markets and different retailers and that type of thing. So we got 7 sauces going from mild to wild all the way up.
It's mild to wild. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got chicken souvlaki here. So thanks to Fat Fork here in Mississauga on Dundas Street, Dundas and 427, for hosting us here and letting us try their souvlaki and have a little chat with Dr. J. You just came back from the SOCA cruise. How was it?
Yeah, it's called Uber SOCA Cruise. It was actually 2 cruises back to back, 5 days each. About like 80 entertainers between DJs, artists, producers, everybody on this cruise ship. And it was amazing. A great experience.
Yeah. So you must be happy to be back to the Toronto weather now after being on the SOCA cruise. Yeah.
Exactly.
Indeed. Sorry, well, obviously, growing up in Scarborough, you have a background, Trinidad Guyanese background.
Yeah.
What kind of got you into SOCA? How did it kind of progress throughout? And when did you know that you were going to be Dr. J, the SOCA Prince, and kind of ran with that?
Okay. So my family's always been very musical. My dad is a singer, or was a singer. He just celebrated his 80th birthday. So he kind of stopped the singing thing now. But he's always been an entertainer. He had his own band. He was on the Super Dave Osborne show.
Okay, yeah.
Bizarre back in the day as well.
Wow, yeah.
And my uncle is a singer and musician with the Traders, which is a big group out of the Cayman Islands. So for me, I always grew up around music. We always used to have the records in the home, and I just grew up with it. And there was no lightning moment where I just knew I'd be Dr. J, the SOCA Prince, playing SOCA music, because even then that was more of the family thing. When I was DJing with my friends, it was hip hop, house, or even reggae and some house parties in Scarborough. But I always played the soca and calypso, but it's more for the family gatherings, school alumni dances, and a banquet hall, that type of thing. I mean, it's just organically built over time, and who would have thought that 30 plus years later, I'd be traveling the world playing soca music. I'm going to be going to Dubai in a couple of days as well to play soca music, which is an incredible opportunity. So all these things have just kind of happened organically over the years.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let's get into. We got some warm chicken here.
Okay.
What's the first sauce we got going here, Spicy Jacks?
Pure Vita, poblano, Scotch bonnet, garlic confit, cilantro, mildly sauce in the lineup.
Yeah, so this is going to start it off easy here.
So that's this side, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the very far left one there.
Okay.
Cut a chunk there, Jax. Okay, again, thanks to Fat Fork for having us here in Dundas. If you love souvlaki, Greek food, gyros, baklava, cheesecake, come check them out. Cool.
So this is a mild. I can dip it properly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're used to the Trini pepper sauce, no, Jay? You should be okay. You should be all right.
And anyhow you can eat this, Jackson, and I can't have a problem. All right, there we go.
All right. So all these sauces are flavor first. So they're all flavor first sauces. It's not the type of sauce where, you're going to have straight pepper and then vinegar and, kill your food. For me, I'm obviously a foodie, as you can see. And, so I don't want to cook food and then kill it.
Right.
So I want to cook food and have something to enhance the flavor.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we go with this one.
Yeah, it tastes good. I like it.
Not much heat. We'll start it off slow.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Obviously, you said over 30 years you've been going. The longevity in the community, in the Toronto scene, as well as internationally. How would you say the DJing and the club scene, Toronto and internationally, has changed, say, from 95 or 93 to 2023 now?
I mean, Toronto is definitely a world-class city, and we're seeing that now with sporting teams and a lot of athletes coming here, and then obviously musicians such as Drake raising the level of Toronto internationally. So I think while it was a the best kept secret for a lot of us. And we've always had world class DJs started from scratch. King Turbo, like in every scene, whether it's reggae or urban music, we always had top DJs here, right? And I think now we're actually being recognized for that internationally.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's comedians like Russell Peters, you know, Jay Martin, Jean Paul, all these guys that are traveling internationally, people are seeing us on a world-class stage. So I think that is how the scene itself is elevated.
Yeah.
So when you look at our nightlife, there's certain clubs that are really world-class level. You know, when you go to Rebel or Cabana, these could be Vegas-style clubs.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely how it's changed compared to before, when a lot of the places we used to play was just the banquet halls or, you know, those kind of venues or basement in the back. And I'm sure some of those things still happen, obviously.
Sure, of course.
But on a whole, I feel Toronto is elevated.
What about the DJing itself? Obviously, technology has changed from 93 to 2023, you know? So how about the, you know, having to adapt to the new technology and that type of thing with DJing? So,
yeah, with Toronto and stuff, I mean, my back is thankful, you know, so I don't have to lift up a bunch of crates and take the recycling bins. But yeah, I just think overall technology has made things easier. But to be a great DJ, you still have to be able to read the room. You still have to play the right song at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So technology doesn't really help that. It only helps you have a lot of music in this portable device. You can have it all on a hard drive or your computer, so it's very easy for that. But a great DJ is a great DJ. You could have all this music and play the right song, but at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Or the wrong song. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I feel like no matter what, it's just the medium that we use. And I remember it was Jazzy Jeff. I saw a quote where he was talking about, you know, there's a lot of the older DJs who try to fight down technology in a sense, and you know, they want to be a purist.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you would rather play an album or, you know, a record. That is totally cool.
Yeah.
Mix it like that. But it still takes a lot of skill to play off of Serato or whatever DJ program you use.
Yeah. Cool. Let's get into the second one here. Let's go. Jack's the second one here we have.
Asian kick.
Shishito.
All green chilies, ginger, citrus.
So this one has a Asian flair to it.
Okay.
A little Asian flair, so we get into this one.
All right, let's go. Asian flair can go from mild to wild. I like it.
Yeah. Once we get to the top, it's a little warm. It'll be okay. If anyone wants to check out these sauces, check them out. Tijuana Tom's, Instagram. They have a website, markets everywhere, all over Milton, Farmers Market.
Again, very flavorful.
Indeed, yeah.
It's the Asian vibe, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you get the ginger on it. Shishito peppers are nice too. They char them a bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so, as an ambassador, I would say, for SOCA, I mean, anybody that knows SOCA in Toronto has heard you spin at one point or another. You know, you've also performed in, say, Carnival in Trinidad, other islands, Europe, Hong Kong as well, I think you played in before. How would you say Toronto Caravana stacks up against other festivals throughout the world, say, Caribbean, that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really compare the Caribbean to Toronto Carnival because the limitations we have, even with something as, I don't want to call it small, but like our liquor laws are different. So in the Caribbean, you can have, you know, drink trucks that are part of the package when you're playing mass with the band.
Yeah.
You have on your costume, you have a wristband, you can just go up to the band and, I like, you know, whatever alcoholic beverage you want for the road. Here we can't do that.
Yeah.
But the costume itself that we make still costs the same as what they do in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So I think that is a limitation we have here in Toronto. But I will say that the experience on the road, the DJs, the music truck, that type of stuff, we're on par. You know, we still have world-class DJs that play on the road. The costumes are still done, you know, usually by the same standards that we see in the Caribbean. You know, so even for me, like my sister and I, we have a section in Salina. Our section is Dr. J. Mass. And we use the same top designers that they use in Trinidad.
Mm.
You know, big shout out to David Dewar. And we sell out early because people love the quality that we produce. So I would say in that sense, Toronto Carnival, you can see by the amount of money that Toronto Carnival brings into the city.
Yeah.
we know that it's definitely, on a level of its own. But the experience for the masquerader is definitely different in the Caribbean because I think you don't get as many what they call stormers, where people who are in costume interfering with the band because they understand the culture. So even if you're not a costume, you'll look at the side, oh, that one looks pretty good, but you stay where you are. Here, they're trying to take over the parade, which is obviously a negative experience for a lot of masqueraders, especially the bands that come lower down. Usually the earlier ones don't get too many stormers because they are so early in the day.
Yeah. No, obviously, I mean, I was in the hospitality industry, hotels for about 20 years or so, and I see obviously the money that the Caravana brings into Toronto. Obviously recognized. You hear it in shout outs in lots of songs, whether it be Rupee, Allison Hines, all kinds of stuff talking about Caravana, Toronto, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So you say you're going to Dubai, you've been to Hong Kong, Europe. What was the craziest out of one of your top one or two? What was the craziest place you ever DJ'd or party you ever DJ'd?
Might be Berlin, Germany, because again, sometimes your own perception of what it is going to be is different than what it actually is. So in my mind, I'm thinking Germany, do they really know about SOCA? And they had a carnival there. So I went maybe the second or third year that they had it. And just to see the energy that they have for SOCA, and yeah, it's just incredible to witness. And they're partying till 6, 7 in the morning. Power SOCA, just energy.
Wow.
And I remember leaving a club and it's bright daylight and I'm like, what is happening here? These people in Berlin could rail party. It was good.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, crazy. I would never thought Germany for SOCA.
But out there, and it was crazy experience.
I'll tell you,
So big up to Hendrik, Andre, and everybody from Carnival Fever in Berlin.
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. Number 3.
All right,
Jackson, let's get in there. Up the top.
Canadiana. Habanero, maple syrup, garlic, onions, a little step up.
Okay.
There's a little step up.
Maple syrup.
Yeah, maple syrup. This one here. Right here.
Oh.
Yeah, maple syrup. We got some habaneros in here, so we're getting up a little, going away from the shishitos and getting a little spicier here. Okay. Again, though, flavor first.
Flavor first.
Yeah.
Did you already try it?
No. Good, yeah?
Yeah. Good.
So growing up in Scarborough, obviously you've been a big part of the community there. You're a big fixture, helping the community, doing things for the community. I know you did a DJ school for a while. Although in Toronto, as we know, Toronto and Scarborough, things have changed, with whether it be social issues, homelessness, violence, carjackings is a big thing now in Toronto and stuff going on.
Right.
What would you say the difference of the community, say 30 years back to now? And what do you think, going forward, what can be done to help the youth or help communities, kind of solve some of these social issues in Toronto?
Wow. I mean, I think that's such a. There's so many layers to this, right?
Yeah.
There's no one thing that can fix all of this.
Indeed.
There's a lot of people that the cost of living has gone so much higher. So you can imagine that there are many people looking for a fast way to get money because they have to survive.
Yeah.
Right? So it's hard to say this one thing is what will fix it.
Sure.
What I will say is that definitely some more funding into the arts and into the youth would help.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of cutbacks over the years that we know that definitely affects them, and I think sometimes the youth just need an outlet.
Yeah.
Right? And when you take that off the table, and whether that be in sports, whether it be in arts, what else? How else are they going to, create? And I think back in the day when I remember, I used to just, as you said, growing up in Scarborough, ride the bike with my friends. I lived up by Nielsen Finch, end up by Metro Soup.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I drive that now, and I realize, if I had, if my son was your age and you rode your bike out there with 2 friends, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
There's no way. But back then, it was something that was normal to do because there was a little bit more of a safety vibe. There was more of a family vibe.
Yeah.
the way neighbors looked out, and unfortunately now, we don't really have that same community vibe in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I think that would definitely help build up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you growing up as a youth, obviously probably DJing kept you out. I played in a band. I played drums for all through high school, college. So every day I wasn't thinking in my mind, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to go chill here? Am I going to hang out here? Am I going to go blaze here? I'm going to do whatever here. I knew after school I was going to do my band practice because we had a gig coming up on the weekend, that type of thing, right? And I think it is important. There's so much funding's been cut back with the arts, after school sports, that type of thing where, if boredom creates trouble for kids, man. If kids are bored and they're looking for things to do and they're kind of left to their own devices, sometimes it can turn sideways, right? So, yeah, so I agree with you 100% that, it's definitely important. I think the community funding kind of comes back a little bit, but yeah, obviously there's not one fix, but yeah. All right, we're going to go number 4 here, Spice Jacks.
Number 4.
Caribbean Boogie. Scotch bonnet, pineapple, bird's eye chili.
Yeah. So now we're getting to the Caribbean Boogie. Now he's feeling the vibe. Right? Yeah, that's the one there. Yeah, so this one here. Yes.
There you go. Smell good?
Yeah.
You good?
No, we book. No.
It's got Scotch bonnet, which is one of my favorite peppers. It's such an amazing flavor.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
With the sweetness of the pineapple.
Yeah, the pineapple doesn't. Not too much heat.
Yeah.
Because of the pineapple, for sure.
Yeah, we're not there yet. That's what I said. It's not gonna. With your palate, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah,
You'll be okay.
Mild to wild. I like
Mild to wild. We're getting there a little bit. I sweat at the drop of the hat when I start eating hot sauce, so it's all good. So anybody who knows you, has followed along your Instagram feed, they know that SOCA is not only one of your passions, but obviously basketball, Raptors is one of your passions.
I love basketball.
Absolutely. So you've done lots of live streams. Obviously, I remember, I think the thing that put Toronto for me on the map was sitting in my parents' basement with my boys watching Vince Carter in the dunk competition, where he stunned not only the fans and the world, but NBA legends that were sitting courtside. I still remember the infamous Shaq, the falling back off of his chair when he threw down the 360 windmill. What are your thoughts on Canada basketball, the Raptors? Obviously, you were in Toronto when they started, same as me. I was a Laker fan originally because there was no Raptors when I started watching basketball. But yeah, what are your kind of your thoughts and your from Canada basketball back then when the Raptors came in, and how far obviously it's progressed with the tons of talent in the NBA from Canada now.
I mean, it's incredible to witness, to see it in real time. Even watching Team Canada make the Olympics now, it's just something to see kids Jackson's age, my son's age, realize that this is something that's attainable. We're seeing people that grew up from Kitchener, Hamilton, to Mississauga, Scarborough, Pickering, Corey Joseph, that these guys have made it into the NBA. Yeah. And it's something that is doable to be part of a program here, and they have success stories that they've made it into the NBA, and if not, they've made it to college and they've gone overseas. It's possible.
Yeah.
So I think the Toronto Raptors are a huge part of that.
Yeah.
And to see what Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, these guys have taken it to another level. I would love to see the Raptors now pick a direction.
Yeah.
It seems like we're just kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
But that's just us, a fan. But overall, it's incredible to witness. And I love the Toronto Raptors and basketball in general. It's doing wonders for the Canadian community.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, back in my day and your day, it was hockey nets on the street. Always people playing hockey, car, you're moving the street hockey net. Now it's just basketball. Kids are out there.
Baseball,
kind
of got into it because remember the Blue Jays did well in the early 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
We're playing rookie or whatever. We always had this, there was that element.
Yeah.
But you're right. Street hockey was always number one.
Yeah.
And that was, I guess, the negative reaction when a lot of the American players would come up here and realize you're trying to watch sports. They're not showing how much basketball is.
Yeah.
Everything is hockey.
Yeah.
That's definitely Canada's thing.
Yeah.
But now we realize you see the love for the Raptors,
Yeah.
especially after they won.
Yeah.
The parade, in
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So I think all of these things have shown that it's definitely moving. And to your point, basketball is not as expensive of a sport
Yeah.
to take part of compared to hockey and
Indeed.
other sports. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, it's great to witness.
Yeah. That was crazy. I'll never forget that. Him and Jackson and I were going to go down to the parade.
Right.
And he happened to wake up and said, "Oh, I'm not feeling well." He wasn't feeling well, so I said, "I'll just stay home and we'll watch it on TV." And I'm pretty thankful that he actually got sick that day because, man, I was like, just the people, like, and the roads and everybody moving through. It's just unbelievable for Toronto just to see how the game had grown and how people just gravitated towards it, from Vince Carter and the first days with Damon Stoudemire coming up, Vince Carter, the slam dunk, and then all of a sudden you got Kawhi here, and all of a sudden you got a championship, and then you got a steady, consistent team.
Scotty Barnes,
he looks like Scotty Barnes. He looks like the real deal. He looks like he's progressing well. He's, really, and to touch as well. I mean, Canada basketball. They're going to have a competitive team. We have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's probably going to be top 5, maybe in the running for MVP this year. So it's really crazy to see. It's amazing to see how it's blowing up in Toronto. So. Number 5, Jax.
Okay,
let's go.
Number 5.
Down the bottom here.
Garlic lovers, Hungarian peppers, Thai chili, Scotch bonnet, garlic, citrus.
All right.
So there's garlic and citrus.
Yeah, garlic,
This one?
citrus.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Smells like garlic.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day in the Raptors parade, man. It was like just insane, and the fact that they hadn't blocked off the streets, so it's like the buses couldn't get through, and mad, just mad.
Definitely taste the garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Good though.
Yeah. Again, he has a nice range of sauces, so a little bit of something for everybody. A tiny bit more heat to it, but still.
Tastes good though.
Yeah.
You're not even going for any water yet. That's good.
No.
There you go.
All right, so let's stick with. Yeah. He's a stone face killer. Yeah. So sticking with basketball, I'm obviously have a 10-year-old Spicy Jax here, who's a huge fan of the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young. For me, though, I have a hard time. I'm a little reluctant sometimes to buy tickets ahead of time.
Okay.
Because with load management, with back-to-back games, that type of thing, I don't want to spend $400 on seats, say for a game in April, to go in to see Trae Young, and then he comes out in warm-ups, and he's sitting out, right? So what's your kind of thoughts on the load management? The NBA players, a lot of them not playing back-to-backs, and, do you think the NBA has to do anything to kind of address, load management and how the players are only playing maybe 60 games out of 84 in a season?
Yeah, for sure. I think I remember reading something from Kawhi talking about that, where he was mentioning, a lot of the rules that Adam Silver and the NBA is putting into now to limit load management for him. He was really dealing with an injury.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just let me rest. And you saw it in the NBA Finals, he was limping, you know what I mean? So he fought through that. But I definitely agree that the whole back-to-back and resting star players, it's not good for the game, and what I'm seeing is the game is playing at a high level. Let the stars play.
Yeah.
So I think what they're doing now is, not having 2 stars not be there for a televised game. Like, all these things are cool.
Yeah.
But what happens, as you mentioned, to a smaller market team, that this is their one chance to see a LeBron James or, the Kawhi Leonards or Jimmy Butlers, and they're sitting out because it happened to be on the back-to-back. It's sad.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the player themselves feels that sense of pride.
Yeah.
That they don't want to let that kid or even adult down in the stands. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that the player themselves wants to push through.
Yeah. And I think you're starting to see that a little bit too. I know Anthony Edwards with the Timberwolves and said, I get paid to play, and I'm going to play. As well as I can walk, I'm going to play. And I think a lot of more players are starting to kind of take that that stance. Maybe it's because of some of the scrutiny, but also pride. I think these guys are professionals, right? They're professionals. They play at high level. They're expected to play at high level. They're making big money, So yeah, it's.
I definitely agree. I think it's only if there's that injury angle, and then I think most fans would understand that.
Yeah.
And we're cool with it, But if it's just like you're sitting out just because of this back-to-back situation,
yeah,
do that at home. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Away,
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you're doing it at home. Your fans have 42 times to see you, right?
40 chances to see you.
Yeah. No,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
For number 7, eh? Look at you. All right. Which one is
Let's go on number 6 here. Second last year. What do we got here, Jax? All in order, bro. Right there.
Wait, where? Smoking Fuego. Charred jalapenos, smoked ghost peppers, smoked chipotle margaritas, agave syrup, the garlic.
Yeah. This one's got a couple different peppers. It's got charred jalapenos. It's got some smoked ghost pepper in it. And it's got some smoked chipotle margaritas, which are like red jalapenos, which are smoked as well.
No,
I
dropped the chicken.
Huh?
I dropped a little bit of chicken.
That's all right. Don't worry. We'll get it.
Yeah, you want it?
Yeah.
Definitely tastes smoky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
This one with the heat will come a little bit later. It has the ghost pepper, which it builds. Oh, I sure you would. Absolutely.
It's good.
Yeah, like I said before, it's a nice, it's good to pair with different foods, right?
Yeah.
So here's the Asian one, goes with Asian foods, and different types of flavors go with different foods. So, yeah. So people who know you, they know about your achievements, what you've done in the community, awards, what you've done for Toronto SOCA, the longevity of your career. What would you attribute the longevity to of your career, and how do you feel you can kind of sustain it going forward? As you get older and move through. And what's next? What's next for Dr. J?
I like what you said. Once I get older, like I'm not older already. I appreciate that.
Hey, we're both the same, around the same era, bro. So it's all good. We'll stay young, right?
I think it's just passion. When you're passionate about something, when you love something, it doesn't feel like work because you love what you do, right? And I genuinely love the music. I love DJing. I love putting on events and even giving other DJs the opportunity to do something special.
Yeah.
Right? I love just curating those spaces. Like this past weekend, we had a DJ from Antigua. His name is Quest. He came to Toronto for the first time.
Yeah.
And normally my events are 100% SOCA. There's one particular brand called The Clinic, because the Tucon here, but it's about a musical clinic.
Yeah.
So the way we curate it, the way we advertise it, it's anything goes. You can play anything from soca to Bad Bunny to dancehall to country, if that's what you feel you need to do in that moment.
Yeah.
We've had DJs in the past play slow songs and do real well.
Yep.
To obviously soca, hip hop, all that stuff. And he had this moment where he just caught a vibe to do something, and he did this old tune play, and he played this reggae song out of nowhere, and like the organic roar from the crowd when it happened.
Yeah.
It made me feel proud because it was like we gave him that space of like-minded people who could appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because if you do that in front of the wrong crowd, they're going to be like, "What's this guy doing?" Like,
Yeah.
why are you playing stuff on the mixer? Just play the song. You know?
Yeah.
But the crowd was ready for it. The energy was there. So when he did it, the roar from the crowd, like it was probably one of my top 5 organic moments in Toronto nightlife. Like being there to witness it, it was incredible. Yeah. And it was one of those things that it made, as I said, made me proud to actually produce that event, which had that space, like a safe space for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I think as long as I keep that fresh mentality, I'm not somebody who's fueled by ego or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like you're able to do something and give them that opportunity to play in that prime time slot to make that moment happen.
Yeah.
So I think as long as I continue to have that mentality and health, we're good to go. Then let's keep going.
Yeah. That event looked crazy. I saw some of your stories, man. It looked, it was definitely unique. It was, it was crazy. And I actually saw on the story there where Quester going up there.
Yeah, what he was doing.
Just insane. And that's a really cool vibe, though, man, to kind of give people an open forum because you never know what can come of it. You know, it could be something completely different than no one's ever heard of before, right? And,
what happened.
Yeah.
And there will be other stuff for the SOCA, and somebody else will do something crazy which will get that love for SOCA.
Yeah.
It's not taken away from that.
Yeah.
We have our vets, SOCA and I, all the other ones.
Yeah.
But this particular event, it had that moment, and it was really special. So, kudos to Quest and Puffy. And, because, again, if Puffy didn't play the way he played, he might have actually played that song. So Quest couldn't have done that. Do you get what I mean? Like, everything had to happen in a way that allowed
kind of like the stars aligning.
And it was incredible.
Awesome. So, I mean, I wasn't going to get into this, but so you've been doing your own events for a while, but promoting events, producing events. How is that compared to, as a DJ? Most DJs, they show up at the event, and then they spin, and then they kind of go home, right? So how have you kind of worn both hats where, you go to the events where you DJ for sure, but then also the production and then the promotion of setting up your own events is obviously a whole different level, no?
There's definitely a fine balance. It's similar to, let's say, this restaurant makes some sauces, but gives the opportunity for this guy, this group to specialize their sauce. It doesn't affect what they may do with their souvlaki. They're confident in what they do. Right? And for me, I'm confident in my ability as a DJ to DJ for other people, do what I have to do, because I think that's how you maintain your relevance. If people don't want to hear me DJ, are they going to want to see what events I produce? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I'm not willing to fight. I have to continue at a high level of a DJ and then still be able to produce events, which in turn brings out the demand for people who want to hear me as a DJ. You know what I mean? So it's
like a balance, like a yin-yang kind of balance.
And I do love DJing. I enjoy it. I'm not a technical scratcher or whatever. There's other people for that. I have my lane. And I think I do pretty well in it. I just focus on pleasing the crowd and playing the right song at the right time. And I've been doing it for, as you said, 30 plus years, right? So something's working.
100%. I mean, I've seen this man DJ many times as duty manager of International Plaza Hotel, Jade Nightclub, Karma Club back in the day with Flow 93.5 doing their spots there every Saturday. And I worked the overnight duty manager shifts, so my breaks, I would always be up on the top shelf of the DJ booth watching you guys do your thing. And I'm telling you, if you want to see a SOCA DJ and you want to go to a SOCA party, this man here will tear the roof off every single time. He's been doing it for 30 years, man.
My energy was a lot different back in those Karma days. You know what I mean?
We all jumped up a little higher, don't worry. It's all right. All right, let's jump into the last one here.
Okay.
This one's called, did I even write it down here? I think I did.
This is like Armageddon or something.
Oh.
Right at the bottom.
All right.
Lucifer's Seat? Is it Lucifer's Seat?
Yeah.
Lucifer's Seat. Carolina Reapers, smoked ghost peppers, dehydrated reapers and ghosts, red shepherd peppers, garlic confit, mustard, Spanish onion.
Give me an aye.
Yeah. You ready for this?
All right, let's go.
Yeah, you smell that, eh? All right. So this is just the one where Josh is going to have to take a sip of water. We're going to see. Let's see.
He's through 6. His water's not open yet. He's through 6. All right. Never too much.
You ready?
All right. Cheers.
All right, let's go. Cheers.
Still good flavor though, man. Still good flavor. Like,
we're getting into the wild. I like it.
Yeah. This is the last one here. So I told you you're gonna make it through. Come on.
It's good. Okay. This one here?
Yeah, that's the one there. This is a limited edition one he did. So they made Funny enough, Lucifer Seed, he only made 66 bottles.
Yeah, right. See that? 66 thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So, kind of wrapping things up. What's next for you in the future? Events, that type of thing. What do you got going on? You said you're going to Dubai, obviously, which is going to be a hype trip.
Dubai, 24 hours. So probably not the smartest thing. Need a whole bunch of hot sauce for a 14-hour flight. No, I'm a risk taker.
Just put the toilet paper in the freezer first. You'll be all right.
But aside from that, what else come up? We have SOCA Die, the Encore edition at Rebel, Don't Cry Leaving, which is the last event before Trinidad Carnival. Just a lot of it's a good water. I'm saying you had some of the water. You just smelled the water.
No, I just want
You
to
just
dip.
wanted to
I
see
want
if it
to
was.
dip.
You want to make sure it's wet?
Oh, okay. So we'll take another dip. You ready?
Another one? Yeah.
Don't let Jackson show me up here today. Let's go.
Give her. Yeah.
Hey, Jackson. I see you.
Hopefully your school doesn't call me tomorrow to come pick you up.
But yeah, so a lot of events coming up. Follow me on social media at SOCA Prince. Website is thehomessoca.ca. Yeah, about a lot of big things coming up.
Yeah.
Getting ready, planning for summer and Toronto Carnival.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, I'm just going to kind of wrap it by saying,
I saw that.
yeah, that Suzuki, yeah, let's get it. That cools it down good. Yogurt dip, yeah. But, yeah, no, obviously you talked about your longevity and the passion. Like I said, I've seen you DJ before. I see you on your Instagram. I see how you are with the community. Obviously, the passion, the genuineness of you, the humbleness, I think, of you. It shows through, and it shows through in artists. And that's, like you said, that's how artists have longevity in the career. People can see passion. They can recognize realness. They can recognize authenticity in people's art. And definitely shows through with you, man. I really appreciate you jumping on with us, brother. Coming down here all the way from Scarborough to eat some sauces with us. It's big things, bro. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it.
You too. Thanks for the opportunity. I had a good time. Nice meeting you, Jackson, as well. And yeah, big up. Stay tuned to the channel. And
Thank you. Before we go, look in the camera there and give us a little outro. The only way Dr. J can do.
Okay. And it's Toronto Heat.
Toronto Heat, yeah.
You ready, Jackson? I'm going to help you with this one.
Yes, sir.
A little bit. This is Dr. J, the SOCA Prince, and understand right now, you're in the Toronto Heat. There we go. That was good, eh?
All right. Brother, thank you so much again for showing up, man. I really appreciate it, man. Respect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. First edition, inaugural show, Toronto Heat. The man, the myth, the legend, the SOCA Prince, the ambassador of SOCA to the world, Dr. J, Spicy Jacks. Until next time,
Stay spicy.
have a great night.